Okay, we are live. Exciting times, guys, exciting times. While we wait for Michelle and Lisa to pop in, I thought I would chat a little bit what's going on. There's intense times, as you guys can probably feel. You know that around us is constant change and chaos. It's designed that way to wake us all up, to have us break down the parts of us that no longer align with what's being told or what's being said out there, to even in our own lives, to see what no longer fits, what no longer feels right. And it's us going through trying to feel out what is for us and what isn't. And that could change at any moment. At any speck of time, one thing will be right and then in the next minute it won't. And that's okay. We're finding our way back to us. We're unconditioning our lives. We are stepping away from what society tells us is what we're supposed to do. And we're beginning to listen to ourselves. I know this week was intense for me. Not only did I feel that I was on a constant tilt-a-whirl, but my body was really showing me where I stored pain, where I stored a lot of grief and anger. My foot flared up, and I had this injury about 15 years ago. And what was going on in my life was complete turmoil at that time. But as a mom, I had to stuff it down. I was basically told, from years of experience to stuff it down and gotta soldier on because you're the mom. And I remember being injured intensely and hobbling around, driving myself to the hospital. You name it, it was power Chris. And I stuffed all that anger, all the intuition I was feeling, because I didn't want to believe what was coming up. A lot of stab through the heart kind of experiences. And that's what I was running up on my deck, and I saw that they wanted, I think it was one of their goggles, and I was running up on the deck and a big splinter, oh, it was huge, went inside my foot. And I drove myself to the emergency room. They took it out, but it wasn't the first time that I was back there because it kept more pieces were broken off inside of my foot and would come to the surface, which this is, of course, what's occurring now. So we think that we get the big chunk out. We think that, oh, we healed it. Everything is wonderful. We faced our fears. We faced our sadness and our anger. But there's more to it. There's more of it in there that has to come out. There's, from another standpoint, you see it where you're able to love yourself on such a level that I didn't even know 6 months ago, that I'm able to look at it now and sit with it. And a lot of people are, of course, that are on this journey have no clue what energetics is, let alone, I didn't hurt myself. No, it's just old pain coming up. But it's hard to explain it to people that just don't get it. And that's a lot of family members who just don't get it. And so it was a lot of old pain. And I sat with myself and allowed that pain to come up again. I allowed the anger to surface because I always had to squash it down, be the good little Chrissy, don't cause waves, basically I didn't see that I had the worth to talk about what was going on, and that I was always being told that I was full of crap and I'm just being paranoid, etc., etc. When I know years later, myself was talking to myself back then, and I was too blind to see it. I was not equipped with seeing it, and I don't think I had the strength at that time to see it. So it went on years later until I finally did see it. But yeah, looking back on it now, going back over feelings of 15 years ago, and then it went down even deeper to when I was little. And it's actually you giving yourself permission to love yourself, to take care of yourself, to give yourself the time that you need to go on. It's a trying time right now, and it is very difficult to see these aspects of you come up for yet again for you to look at. I was curious as to what these energies are doing for you. I know not only the emotions, but the actual physical pain of it all. Where um, I remember they gave me pain medication for it because I had stitches and such, and numbing the pain. So I had to numb it to continue on, to continue doing the motherly duties of taking care of two young children and just being to numb the pain to keep going. And this time I didn't do that, and I had to feel the intensity of that pain because it was all amazing messages that I numbed out. I numbed out to be super mom, super wife, super mom, super daughter, super great, not granddaughter still, yes, super sister. I always had to be, in my eyes, um, the one who was a super person who dove in and helped take care of everybody else. But this weekend, I listened to myself and I didn't go anywhere. The kids actually took care of me this time, which was crazy. Um, it was a different role reversal where they dove in and they say, well, Mom, you take care of us on a daily basis. We can at least do this for you. And it was very touching. It was I was very grateful for what happened because it showed me that all the love I give out, I'm finally getting it back. Not that I do things for that reason, but because I choose to love myself and not dive in and do things when I know I should be still. That love is returned because I've given that love to myself. And that was the hardest lesson I had to learn too. Was when you give your love freely and just do it because you love without condition. That love comes back to you in ways you never thought. And finding beautiful soul family along the way. I'm doing a movement now where we're talking with other spiritual patriots who um, have chosen to embark on mindfulness and how we're all coming together all over the U.S. and how we're all um, seeing things in greater detail and how we can shift the thinking, shift the way of how we consciously go about our day. Whether it's what you put in your mouth, what you put on your body, who you surround yourself with, what stores you go to, what stuff you watch, what music you listen to. It all impacts us. And with these energies that are coming in, to be able, they're here to wake us up. They're here to shake it out of us. They're here to show us what needs to be seen and how we feel doing and being in that. And if it doesn't feel good, then why are you doing it? Is it because of that I should, I could, I would, I need to? Those things keep popping up because we're supposed to look at that. Because if you need to, or I should, or that's what they told me I have to do, or this is what this agency said that I need to do, then you need to take a look at that. Because you are the sovereign one. And this is what this energy keeps pushing in. It's benevolent. It's having us look at ourselves in a deeper way. And where can we walk the walk? We can talk a lot. We can say, oh yeah, we're aligned with this and we're aligned with that. But are you doing what you're saying? Not necessarily. And this is just shaking it around so you see if you're aligning from what you're saying. It's being in that alignment where you know with every soul of your being that this is truly who I am and what is right. Not what others say is right, but what is right for you. Because that's not going to be right for everybody. Today I was talking to a beloved friend, and the whole COVIDity popped up, and I bit my tongue. Because my one friend was on one end of the scale, and I was totally on the opposite side of the scale and how I saw what's going on. But I allowed him to talk, him to tell his story, and then just by simply saying, I love you, instead of bantering on what I think he should do or what I feel is right, I just let him live his life the way he deems fit. And I just bit my tongue and just said, I love you. And he knows darn well what was bubbling up inside me because he's known me all my life. And for me, I had to just say I love you because everybody is on their own journey. Everybody is experiencing their own things right now. Their own intensities of physical, emotional, mental issues that are been popping up because they're supposed to. They're supposed to. And so to allow everybody their journey. There are people out there that you're going to resonate more with than others, and that's fine. And we're all coming to this way where more people are awakening and seeing what's playing out before them. And the rawness of it all. And whether you're brave enough to dive into that rawness is where we need to go. Because there's, like I say, there's that tiny little pinhole of light, and we can't take any of the baggage that we've acquired over this time that we've been here with us. We can't take it through that hole. So that hole is we're being stripped of all belief systems, ego, spiritual ego. That's a big one. Everything that we claim ourselves to be all kind of persona. Everything has to go. And I saw my foot as all this pain and agony, all this heartache, because I was even in the reflexology of my foot where the wound was my heart, and then it went up towards my kidneys and my brain and my thinking. It was amazing how my body was just sitting there telling it, but I can't take any of that crap with me because it doesn't serve me anymore. All those old thoughts, all those deep dark feelings, I can't take those with me. I can't. They, where we're going is somewhere magnificent, where that old way of being can't go. It's just, it won't fit. It won't fit through that tiny little keyhole. It won't. And last year at this time, I was going through another ego death, and this was a spirituality of everything that was ever taught to me or that I dived into. I had to let all of that go as well. And I had to let go of the personalities of, well, what are you? Well, I'm a life coach, or I'm a counselor, or I'm a spiritual guru, or whatever the case may be. I had to let all of it go. All of it, because it wasn't truly me and who was really me. It was just BS descriptions of what I am. Yes, do I do a lot of energetics? Yep, I do. On myself and on others, yep, I do. But I had to drop the labels. And it was funny because I went through a business school and it was all about labels, all about marketing, all about this and all about that. And I found that it just, as I went through that course, I was like, this isn't me. And I kept battling myself. I kept battling myself for what is me? What if I'm not this, then what am I? And that kept coming up over and over and over again. And the beautiful thing is, I had to let all of that go to become just me. And what that is, I don't know what the hell it is. It's just me. People go, what do you do? And I just laugh. And I just say yes. Because what I do is I talk to people, connect people, offer a different perspective. But to label myself as anything now, I can't. The energy won't allow me to. I just, nothing works with that. So when people say, oh, the typical, what do you do? I just laugh. Because I'm like, yeah, I'm just me. And whatever that is for the moment is for the moment. And it changes moment to moment what is required of me. Whether it be talking to somebody, whether it be helping somebody through something, whether it be helping myself through something. Taking all the knowledge that I do have and finally taking what I know and applying it to me and helping myself through a process. It's it's a different kind of place where I'm at, and I don't even know what to call it or what, because it's just nothing. It's just the nothingness of being, of doing just who you are with no labels attached. A helper, a guide, someone who loves. It, there's no description for that. It just is. It's kind of freeing because you don't have a label that you need to put yourself in. And I was always the mom, the wife, the daughter, the granddaughter, um, I always had my place. I always had, counselor, energy worker, whatever the case would be. It was always a label. But when you free yourself from the label, plural, labels, you get to know you. You really get to know you. And even the parts of you that you deemed not so wonderful, you begin to love them too because you're just with you. And to go through that during these times of intensity, we're going to be able to help so many people on the other side of this because we know who we are. And when people start going through that and realizing their whole life was a one big frickin' lie, we'll be able to help them. We'll be able to guide them into exploring self, really exploring self. As I sit here talking, I have an ice bag on my foot just because it's by the end of the day, my foot starts to hurt again. And I reach into my foot to ask, what are you trying to tell me now? And it's just saying, just rest. Because what's coming, I'm gonna be needed. And to rest at this time and take care of ourselves at this time. To give yourself the nourishment that you need at this time, even if you can't really eat, because it's very hard for me to eat today. The energy is very intense, and even talking is not easy. I had to talk earlier and went on a meditation today and talked some more to some other people, and I'm exhausted. It's not like I ran a marathon or anything like that, but where I need to be just silent is where it's showing me to go. I just need to be in that quiet space. And that's going to be asked of you too. To be able to just be in that space, in that quiet time. And not to allow the outside world to get loud. Because it's going to get loud. But that's what is needed to wake some of the people up. It's requiring us to just be quiet. Just be still. Because our time is coming where we're going to have to come online real fast. Where the fallout of all of this is going to be intense. I remember 10 years ago, beginning this, pulling off the veil from my eyes. They talk about pulling off the, the scales falling from the eyes in the Bible. And we talked about that yesterday, one of the guys that I connected with. And there's a lot of times that we don't realize what scales are on our eyes and what we aren't seeing. And then sometimes we don't want to see it. Like 15 years ago, I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to know. Even though that intuition was kicking off, I didn't want to know. Because it was too painful to know. And that's what this time is going to be about too. So it's reminding me, remember, you didn't want to know. Remember your anger about knowing. Remember how it felt. It's kind of reminding me how everyone's going to be going through this. And how, yeah, I've looked at, gone down rabbit holes for years now. And to remember what it was like finding out this stuff when you didn't want to see it. Having dreams about things that you didn't want to have dreams about. Having those intuitional hits that you just did not want to know. You didn't. And to remember that going forward, because everyone's going to be going through that. These times are intense. These times are asking for us to be still. And to be the observer, but from above. To feel what you need to feel, but don't soak yourself in the chaos outside. Now, if there's chaos inside of you, which usually there is if you're seeing chaos on the outside, then you gotta look at it. You gotta feel it. Just like I had to re-feel these feelings to remind myself this is what everyone's going to be going through because you went through it, now you're going through it again. And you'll go through it again. And again. And again. And each time, you're more gentle with yourself. You have more compassion for yourself. And then if you're able to do that for yourself, you're able to do that for others without any conditions, without getting angry or impatient with others. Because then you remember that you went through that too. And there's a lot of us that will just hurry up already. Let's get the show on the road. What the hell? Why is everybody, it's such a pain, it's such a pain. And it is. Our impatience is getting to us. Because we see the light at the end of the tunnel and it's just not going fast enough. And that's when we have to remember what it was like back when we first started realizing that this whole world is inverted. Nothing is as it seems. It takes you back again to those days. Because now we see even things that we saw before with new eyes. Clearer, true eyes. The trueness of the situation, not necessarily somebody's truth, but what's true. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. That's why you need to rely on your discernment. What does it feel like when somebody says something? What does it feel like to be? What does it feel like to be in this situation or in this place or around these people or eat this food or put this on your body? What does it feel like? What is the frequency that's being emitted off of this? Does it feel good to your body? Does it make your heart sing? We'll be finding out a lot of things that have been underneath the surface that will not make our hearts sing. Will make our heart ache and just be filled with sadness. But it's through that chaos and through that sadness that we grow. That we never allow this to ever happen again. that we have to be in charge of our lives. We have to take responsibility for our own selves, and how we feel, and how we act. It's a process. It's a process for sure. I'm going to be short tonight because I know I need to be still. And I know that my friend Michelle was going to join me tonight with Lisa, but I know that they were diving into cleaning up a pool. So it's all good. I just need to be still. So thank you for joining me tonight. And I hope that these energies really bring for you the clarity that you need, the strength that you need to look at what really is inside of you, the courage to see what's inside, the courage to face what but your body's telling you, what your mind and your emotions are telling you, the courage to see what's going on outside of us, which is just the turmoil that's inside of us. I wish for you the clarity, the peace, and the love that you can find right inside yourself when the whole world is going to be blown up around us. To find your inner peace within. It takes practice to find it, to quiet yourself, to know that you have you, that you're supported by you. And if ever you need to reach out to find me, I'll be happy to talk with you and just hold your hand. It's going to be intense times. Things are not always what they seem. The only thing that is true is love. The only thing that's true is you. To follow your heart and your soul, and then marry that with the mind. Coherence. So with that, thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Love you guys.